Hello everybody and welcome to Amphlett Reviews, back with a Hong Kong content review, continuing on with the Shaw Brothers library and collection with the Shaw Brothers Vol.2. Very unintentionally getting myself into a bit of a rabbit hole with some of these movies, and I've got access to but hadn't had a chance to watch as of yet, and thanks to the 8th Diagram Pole Fighter, I'm now checking out finally the first 6 Chambers of Shaolin movies, and all 3 are on the Shaw Brothers Vol.2 box set, which is fantastic. And I watched the first one just recently, and it was great. It was great. I want to go straight into this one for you guys. It's directed by the same director as 8 Diagram Pole Fighter, Lau Kar-leung. Stars Gordon Liu as his first main leading role in terms of the kind of these martial art movies, and he was always a supporting character for this point. This is his first kind of breakout proper big role as the main leading character. Released in 1978 during the kind of the peak of kind of Shaw Brothers movies during that time, and there's a lot of these kind of Shaolin kind of monk temple based kind of movies. A lot of kind of oversaturation, I would say. A lot of it. There's quite a few that I have seen, from Jackie Chan to Jet Li. There's been quite a few from the same director that's done quite a few of these kind of movies as well. I will admit I was a little bit nervous going into this one after watching the 8th Diagram Pole Fighter, being the fact it's almost 10-year difference. And I kind of, when you see kind of like peak action, kind of peak kind of like, badassery, and it's like that's a much more higher tier kind of down the road kind of movie. But sometimes it can go one way or the other. This one definitely delivers for sure. I can see why this is a staple Shaw Brothers film, martial arts film, and why it had massive international success. Even the fact that Gordon Liu also appears in the Kill Bill movies shows how much of an influence this actor and this movie has had over time for pop culture across the world. It's a very strong film, and it's very highly entertaining from start to finish. And going straight into the story for this, basically is done in a really impressive 3-act structure. It is a 2-hour movie. You've got basically the first half an hour is Gordon Liu's character with his kind of his situation, essentially. It's kind of the setup, what his motivations are, and what he's going to do to basically achieve them. And he is a student. There is a resistance kind of rebel group going around during this kind of little small town, and he gets involved in it. This film has elements of a true story with some of these characters and some of these scenarios actually happening in real kind of Chinese history, and some of it kind of be left to your imagination, whether it's kind of fictional or not, because there's no official records whether this character, whether this person was responsible for the 36th chamber being into existence. Essentially, this idea of kind of Shaolin monks only being the ones who can learn kind of martial arts, giving it to layman man, giving it to the kind of local kind of people, the local man, fight for their own kind of land, fight for their family. This leads to the core of the film, essentially, which is the, I'd say, hour plus movie, the core kind of middle act of the film, which is this character going for a complete transformation. And through this, he has to go on this kind of spiritual journey, also a physical and mental journey at the same time through these very series of challenges. The fact he straight away wants to go for the ultimate chamber, the one that no one does, and he has to kind of go backtrack into the various chambers before it. Obviously, he does all 35 chamber movies within the first 5 years of his kind of time there, essentially. And you get to see that kind of trial and error and progress and his determination, and it's quite rewarding as an audience member to kind of watch. He wants revenge, he wants to go back to that town and back to stopping those bad guys, essentially, but he's willing to put the time and effort and placement into basically learning the individual chambers and to kind of understand what they require. And as he goes along, he gets more stronger, he gets more kind of more recognized, gets promoted. Pretty excellent third act, which is the build up to the whole film, essentially him going back, kicking some serious ass, and gathering around a bit of a team together, a bunch of kind of people, and to kind of take up the fight to them directly, which I think is great. And you get to see kind of this community spirit kind of come together to kind of take them on one by one, and using the resources and using the kind of the challenges that have in place. And it makes for a very entertaining film, and it ends on a really good high note. I can see why the character of the film resonates with a lot of people, because the message of the film isn't about bloody revenge, even though it does have a lot of kick-ass elements of a revenge movie, essentially, similar to kind of the 8 Diagram Pole Fighter and a lot of the kind of other staple kind of Shaw Brothers movies. This has a lot more kind of goodwill to say and a lot more positivity in terms of a character journey. And it's this idea of, again, the positive nature of a Shaolin monk is really kind of shown very clearly in this one. And it's something that the elements of this I did quite enjoy within a lot of other movies that I have seen that do feature Shaolin monks, but it kind of goes on a little bit too long, or it's a bit unfocused, or it's a bit kind of, doesn't know what he wants to do, or he kind of just kind of mashing up too many ideas. And I think this and Shaolin Wooden, the Jackie Chan one, were two really good examples of movies that I really do appreciate, and how they handle the character and how they handle the training and how it all leads into this bigger, grander story. Which overall, 36 Chambers of Shaolin is a really excellent film from start to finish. It's a really good, solid 2-hour movie, beautifully paced, has a really strong 3-act structure. It gives you a character that you're deeply invested in, really likable main leading character and supporting cast as well. Great bad guys to kind of him to take on. It's bloody in places where it needs to be. It lives up to the kind of the hype and the kind of the international massive success that it is known for. Really looking forward to checking out the 2 sequels as well, with both on the Shawscope Vol.2 Volume 2 box set, which I will be checking out and reviewing for you guys, and hopefully they deliver that same level of excellence that the first one has to offer. What are your thoughts and opinions, guys? Please comment down below. So meantime, guys, Amphlett Reviews, signing out.